Happy New Year! Did you make any resolutions? If you resolved to keep up on all the big happenings, we can help with that. Because that's what we do. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Meg Turney. It's good to be back, guys. But as per usual, we're running through the week's top stories. If you want any more information, just click the annotation and we'll fill you in the full update.
Now, since everyone's still coming off the holidays, we'll be pretty quick this week and then probably more normal-ish, or as normal-ish as we ever get again next week. So let's get this party started. It's an information party.
Microsoft lost a longtime employee this week as Boyd Moulture announced his departure from the company after nearly 18 years. During his time there, he was instrumental in creating Xbox Live and XNA, a series of development tools indie devs use to create games for Microsoft platforms. While his tweet suggests he harbors no ill will for the company, he did say a few things that leave the impression that his departure wasn't exactly cut and dry, like, "At least I'll be more free to talk about things as they resolve this time. Ooh, give us the goods, Boyd. We promise we won't tell."
The Talos Principle, a new first-person puzzle game modeled after philosophical sci-fi from Serious Sam creators Crow Team, is the newest in an increasingly crowded club of games taking the non-traditional route to punish those who pirate their game by implementing creative features. In this case, locking you in an elevator to halt your progression, which is apparently just one of several game-breaking bugs designed with pirates in mind. The same developers previously created a giant immortal scorpion that would chase Serious Sam 3 BFE pirates through the game, and earlier this year, both Far Cry 4 and The Sims 4 had missing or extra features that led to pirates outing themselves when they complained about it.
The holiday season was a bit rocky for those gamers hoping to fire up their newly acquired consoles, but while Xbox Live managed to recover from their DDoS attack fairly quickly, the PSN was about as steady as a newborn calf and struggled a little while longer.
Also cute, though.
Very cute and kind of gooey. To make up for that downtime, Sony announced this week that they would extend their holiday and flash sales. The flash sale has since wrapped up, but the holiday sale is still running through January 6th. For a full list of all the games, movies, and TV shows in the holiday sale, check out the full update.
Now, to commemorate the kickoff of the Halo 5 multiplayer beta, 343 Industries has announced 3 different editions for the game when it hits next year. Standard, of course, Limited, which adds steelbook casing, and, well, some other kind of yet-to-be-outlined digital content and exclusives, and then the real kicker, a $250 limited collector's edition that will include a statue which, based on the price point, had better be 7 feet tall and prone to saving the universe. They haven't actually said what the statue is, though, so who knows? I mean, it could be Locke or a real functioning Cortana, which would also be awesome, but it better be something amazing. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like they had this obligation to make the announcement on the day the beta started, but someone's ducks weren't all in a row, and so they haven't actually locked down all the details, like what could make it worth more than that insane steel battalion controller, if you can even call it that, but that's just me. For a full hour of end of the year reminiscing about video games, and not one, but 2 glorious mustaches, make sure you catch this week's episode of The Patch featuring Mario, Jeff, Ryan, and Mario.
The creepiest mustache. And to keep abreast, wink, of all the latest in esports, we've got you covered with the leaderboard. This week we talk about Titan's 5th, which has some people shaking their head.
Now that about covers it for games, so let's move on.
If there's one thing I need more of in my life, it's Game of Booby Thrones. Game of Thrones. Got it. HBO has seen this great need in my life and gifted us all with a new half-hour-long behind-the-scenes featurette they're calling Game of Thrones: A Day in the Life. It'll air on February 8th. Now, there's no official word yet on what the special could entail, but the most prevalent theory is that it'll introduce viewers to the new characters and houses we'll encounter in Season 5. No matter what the subject matter, though, guys, fingers crossed for partial nudity.
Partial? That seems like a step down for that show. For an in-depth discussion about The Wolf of Wall Street, also lots of boobies, whether Idris Elba should be the next James Bond, and The Hobbit's place in history, make sure you check out this week's episode of Screenplay with Chris, Brandon, Blaine, JJ, and Gus, who still looks like Mario.
Well, December was a bit of a breather in the new releases department, at least for games and movies that aren't The Hobbit and last-minute Oscar bait. January is getting the new year going once again. For a look at everything that's coming out, let's go to Blaine for the forecast.
Thanks, Meg. Well, folks, it's a weird weather month for sure. We're looking light on the games front and heavy on the movies that didn't want to compete for Oscars front for the month, returning more to normalcy next month. In terms of gaming, January is really saved by the PC, with fake colors breezing onto platforms yesterday, to be followed on the 5th by Project Aura, the 8th by the Boyd, the 9th by Mechs and Mercs, the 14th by the Mims Beginning, and the 15th by Tristoy, and the 16th by Karma Flow, the rock opera video game. Consoles start to make an appearance coming in from the south on the 8th with Cherries for Wii U, Funk of Titans for Xbox One on the 9th, and the Atelier Aisha Plus The Alchemist of Dusk on the 13th. Then a storm starts developing on the 20th with the Resident Evil HD remakes for PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. And Saints Row Gat Out of Hell for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Gravity Ghost for PC follows closely behind on the 26th, then GTA 5 makes its first PC appearance on the 27th. The same day, Dying Light hits PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2, Sister Generation, hits Vita. For more details on all these games, make sure you check out the Coming Soon show by the Achievement Humpers. Now, let's get into movie territory, and folks, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of indie stuff that gets a little weird, if you know what I mean, with the kickoff of the Sundance Film Festival, in which huge stars fight for indie cred by starring in crap you've never heard of. The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death, Rec 4, Apocalypse, and The Search for General So kick off this month's theatrical releases today, followed on the 9th by a little flurry of Inherent Vice, Predestination, the conclusion to the Taken trilogy that no one asked for, The World Made Straight, Beloved Sisters, Let's Kill Ward's Wife, and Black November. Then we'll get a little bit of a midweek boost on the 14th with Patrick Stewart's new film Match, followed by the usual Friday storm on the 16th. It's a big one, folks. We've got Paddington, Son of a Gun, Black Hat, The Wedding Ringer, Little Accents, Three Night Stand, Vice, Still Alice, Spare Parts, Still Life, and Loitering with Intent, all making their debut on that day. Once again, we'll get a bit of an early start the next week with Veronica Decides to Die on the 20th, and We'll Never Have Paris on the 22nd, ahead of Friday the 23rd, which is the biggest week of the month. The 23rd will bring in George Lucas's animated musical Strange Magic to screens, along with the Humbling, Song 1, Dark Summer, Black Sea, Mordecai, The Boy Next Door, Cake, Red Army, Mommy, Manny, Against the Sun, and The Duke of Burgundy. Woohoo! That was a lot. After that, though, it will ease up for the rest of the month. Timbuktu will slide in on the 28th, and the 30th will wrap up the month with The Loft, Project Almanac, Black or White, Wild Card, and Alien Outpost. And don't forget, folks, Oscar hysteria will begin about mid-month, so take proper precautions and remember to always use protection. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks for that. That was informative. All right, let's move on to all the tech and science that are moving us inevitably toward the dystopian future sci-fi keeps warning us about.
If you thought thumbprints were going to be the wave of the future for password-free security, yeah, maybe not. A hacking collective in Europe called Chaos Computer Club have taken it to the next level by demonstrating how easy it is to steal a thumbprint from a photo these days, which they showed by taking a photo of Germany's Minister of Defense, Ursula von der Leyen, during a press conference, from which they easily pulled her thumbprint. The same group has warned against fingerprint security on the iPhone 5S and Galaxy S5 previously by showing how easy it is to lift prints from a shiny surface, but this is getting into Mission Impossible territory.
The lobby group, representing a number of major hotel chains, is petitioning the FCC for express permission to block personal electronic data signals as they see fit, citing security reasons. Definitely not financial reasons, even though doing that would force users to purchase internet access from who? Oh, I don't know, them. Minor detail. Currently, signal jamming is forbidden under communications law, but the hotel lobby, shout out to Barbara and R. Kelly, says that if hospitals are allowed to interfere with signals, they should be allowed to as well, because, they're also in the business of operating extremely sensitive equipment and saving lives. Dozens of responses from the wireless lobby, different wireless carriers, and even Microsoft and Google are now flooding the FCC, objecting to the petition and calling shenanigans since, if they were to go through, allowing businesses to block your data on their premises, imagine the roller coaster ride your mobile reliability would take just going through a shopping center. It would suck.
The future is so bright. It's so dark. That's it for the Know It All this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with all the new developments between now and then.
In the meantime, make sure you catch the RT podcast on Monday, Screenplay on Tuesday, The Patch on Wednesday, and On the Spot on Thursday.
I'm now super paranoid about my fingerprints. Happy New Year, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thought thumbprints were going to be the wave of the future for password-free security? Maybe not. A hacking collective in Europe. That was really screechy. I'm going to do that again.